So we're at episode 32.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love the confirmation. We last left the crew having set sail from Port Marley onto a new destination, as some of them have different missions that they're trying to achieve in Fort New Haath. The course was plotted, you took off, you set sail, and your first night in the air, you bonded with the crew and each other over a load of alcohol. Verity's had effectively some of the first drinking that she's potentially done in her life. Mug showed off why he's potentially one of the strongest people on the ship by throwing your two former mercenary crew members who happily engage in sparring with him basically 10 meters across the deck. And other shenaniganery occurred. There was discussions about religion, magic doors, manticores, and Captain Silas found a gift for him hanging on the door of his room, which he nibbled on and immediately passed out. We will start the following morning, and the memes have begun. We will start in the morning, where most of you have woken up feeling surprisingly good, despite the alcohol drunk the previous night. Silas, you're still passed out on the floor.
Did everyone wake up as early as Verity did?
I will leave that to each of the players to work out whether they'll have woken up with the dawn or not. Verity, I'm
I'm napping. I'm very much still sleeping.
Mug is happily snoring away.
Yep.
Oh, Wisp! Was it Wisp or Mug who promised to join in on the early practices?
That was
Nobody
Mugs.
knows. Nah,
Joining on the what?
the morning practice.
Yes, we had a conversation about morning exercise.
Oh, wait, Mug does morning exercise.
Yep. Well,
Morning, quote unquote.
It's more like noon exercise, but that's when we wake up, so don't worry.
Oh, that's
okay,
it's not when Verity wakes up, so it's fine.
also,
Okay.
there's a lot of morning for Mug to wake up, so... So, Verity, you can wake up exactly when you would normally, completely unaffected.
So she wakes up pretty much something. That's when you wake up, because you need to be up to the sun.
Yep.
And then she's gonna take the bell and she's gonna start with Mugs, I guess, and like ding in front of his door. Good morning.
What's happening? Who's attacking? And I don't think Mug has a door. So he just falls out of the what's its bed.
It's like just beside him. Ding.
Oh,
Yeah, so he falls out of the hanging bed and gets out his maul like, who is it? And then is ready to fight. Whoever it is.
Yeah, Verity is just kind of smiling at him.
Are you attacking me?
No, it's morning. So we're here to greet the sun and have morning practice.
Morning practice. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm ready for the fight. Come at me.
Well, we have to go outside on deck. And
Yeah. Okay, you come with me and we fight if you woke me up. You're ready to fight, right?
That is one way to practice, I guess. I wasn't planning to fight.
Well,
we
it's morning practice.
Yeah, but we could wake like Silas, and he can fight you.
No, you woke me up. You fight. That's how it is.
I love you, Mug.
Well, we still need. We can fight you in the end, but first we need to finish the ceremonies. And I
The ceremony.
ceremonies. Yeah,
Ceremonies?
correct.
Yeah. So what's that?
Well, first, normally we wake everyone up so that everyone would be ready to greet the sun. But I got the
Okay.
feeling that not
Wake-
everyone likes
Wake
waking up early.
motherfuckers! We're fighting!
But just marching through the ship. Like,
Oh, no.
Let's get down to business.
And they're just like humming, like, here comes the sun. Do-do-do-do. In the
Right,
background.
I will help you round up people. We meet on the deck and then we fight.
Perfect.
Be ready. and Mug is running down, shouting, "Wakey, wakey, motherfuckers! We fighting on the deck, on the deck."
So
Oh boy.
Can
no.
you remind me again where the captain's quarters are located?
So the captain's quarters are literally located just below the helm.
Right.
So effectively, the helm
Well-
is raised above the main deck, and the room directly below it is the navigation room, and the captain's quarters, and important rooms like that. Most of the crew are going to be in the lower decks.
Great. Which means I can still sleep without hearing Mug. Thank you.
You can hear that until we get up. Then you
Oh, yeah.
can't.
Definitely. But for now, I can sleep.
So what I'm going to say is, Mug, you're going to run through from, because you're effectively down in the hold, you're going to run up, and every area that's filled with the crew hammocks, you're literally going to start waking people up.
And telling them to
Verity
come
is
to
probably
morning
going like,
practice.
this is not what I meant. I think this is not how people hear. I just said that's actually, and then it has having probably zero effect on Mug running
Yeah.
around.
Mug is grumpy because he was woken up, and he doesn't know why he's tired because he's usually energized for morning practice, but he doesn't know it's too early.
He doesn't know that he's had like 3 hours of sleep, and it's like, what?
Yeah. He's just grumpy because of it.
So you do manage to get a number of the crew up, especially the new inexperienced ones. Some of the
It's
older
like
hands
panic.
take one look at Mug and roll over. But yeah, you get a reasonable crowd up on deck of a mixture of some of the older crew and some of the quite a lot of the new crew who are confused as hell as to what's going on.
Good.
Yes.
What happens when they come by my room?
So
Considering I'm near the storage end, that probably would be one of the first rooms.
right.
I have a feeling that Muggs maybe doesn't realize that something is wrong, but Verity probably does.
Can
Yeah.
I get a perception
Mug
out of
hasn't
both
realized
of you?
yet.
Oh no.
Both of them?
Yep, both of them.
Yeah, I don't think Mug is going to make this one.
I didn't even manage to close the door, let alone lock the door.
Sorry?
I didn't even manage to close the door, let alone lock the door, I guess.
You just got a bit too much to drink and you fell asleep on the floor.
Mug, you don't notice anything. Verity,
No.
the first thing you notice is that the door's open.
Weird.
Mug is just barging in, shouting.
The second thing you notice as Mug just barrels on past is that Silas is sleeping face down on the floor.
That's not good. So she just like carefully like lay down, try to like poke him. Like very like
Yeah, I think Mug is picking
You okay?
him up and shaking him. Wake up, motherfucker! We are fighting.
So, as you do that, Silas is effectively ragdolling in your hands. Verity, you're with that perception. You know this isn't normal.
yeah. So Verity will turn to Muggs and Muggs. Sorry, we'll have to do fighting later. We need to get Whisp, and we need to get her now. You stand guard here, and I'll go get her.
Why would I stand guard when it's morning practice? If Silas is a bastard, we can't help it, and he just throws him on his bed.
Okay, Verity will try like a strict stare. Like, you stay right there while we fix the situation. The fighting some other
Fix what
time.
situation.
Can I roll a communication to try and convince Mugs?
Yeah, you can roll in a communication to see if you can try and convince him.
Can I use persuasion?
Yep, it would be a persuasive argument. Mug, how stubborn are you going to be?
Do I counter roll?
Yeah, counter roll with communication. With how stubborn.
Oh.
Basically, it's you're both arguing.
Arguing
I think
over
Mug is going to lose
very
this.
sleeping Silas.
Over the corpse.
Not
Twist,
yet.
I took a heavy dose.
Yeah, you're probably winning
Yeah.
this, aren't you? Yeah.
I'd say based on that Verity is being extremely persuasive with her arguments.
Yeah, she
I think
has
Mug-
this confidence that she
yeah.
usually doesn't have. Where she
I
suddenly
think-
like takes charge in a way that like kind of unlike her.
Mug just gets confused because he doesn't get what's going on, so he just stays in the room. There are too
Yeah.
many words being said.
And Verity will run to get Wisp.
Rightio. Now from
Thank you.
memory-
That makes my next plan easier.
Verity has no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm trying to remember just how drunk Wisp was.
Very.
Yep.
I think she was having the worst time of all of us.
Actually, yes,
Up
because
until
Yeah,
the
I think so,
She
yeah.
was doing far worse.
from memory, Mug actually had to carry Wisp down.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I thought it
Verity,
was
you're
Edric.
was that Edric?
Yeah, because then he
Oh
started
yeah, it was
complaining.
me.
Yeah, Mug was carrying Haldir, I think.
Yeah, I was
Oh, sorry.
carrying. I was carrying this.
Sorry, it was
You
Silas that
finally
carried Wisp.
take a nice action. People don't remember the thing.
Sorry, there was a number of people being carried.
And to be fair, usually when someone is carried, I assume it's Mug. Carrying someone, basically.
Yeah.
If we were running a quota, I think Mug's well ahead of everyone.
Yep.
So, you're going to find Wisp where Silas left them on, I believe it was the medical gurney that's been effectively set up in what's now the surgery. So it's the rough cot table that has effectively been turned into a bed that's bolted to the deck, just in case. Wisp, you'll be out like a light on that.
Fabulous.
So I guess Verity will not be too gentle and be Wisp. Silas is not okay. You need to come get him now.
Is Swift just out of it, or?
What I'm going to do is, if you haven't rolled a Constitution drinking, can I get one out of you? But this will wake you up regardless.
Oh, okay. $14.
Radio. You feel extremely nauseous, but you manage to sort of quell it. And once it passes, you get the gist of what Verity is saying to you.
Sound about Scylla?
Something has happened to Silas. Come, and like she'll like drag Wisp along.
Oh, why do I have to get involved?
You're the medic.
And
You're the medic.
there are other tactics, you know. And technically it's surgeon.
Yes. And she'll like,
Are you gonna give me the information? Or are you just gonna surprise me?
well, I don't know what's happening. He's not responding. He laid face down on the floor, and even Mugs shaking him didn't manage to make him up.
He did drink a lot yesterday.
I don't think that's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, would Verity know that?
Yeah.
She felt perfectly fine, so clearly it can't have been that.
She just assumes anyone would wake up the way she did.
You would remember that out of anyone, Silas and Mug were the ones that seemed to be almost unaffected by the alcohol.
Yeah. So no, I don't think so. So it's-
Okay.
I was fine. He should be fine. Come on, and she'll like physically try to make you move fast.
Was he breathing at least?
I don't know. I think so.
Why didn't you check?
And then Mugs was trying to shake him, and then
Okay. Just let's go. Okay.
So much concern.
Good to know that the person responsible for keeping the people alive cares this much about the people.
It's like early in the morning and she's hungover.
Wisp, can you please can we please order a sign for you saying something like no injuries until the first Tankard of Ale is gone?
no injuries after like 2 a.m. and before 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's now like what, 5 in the morning?
Oh my
So-
gosh, it's so early.
It was literally like at like now the sun is starting to rise.
Ugh.
So it won't take you long to get from where you are to Silas's chambers, effectively. So Wisp, you'll be greeted by the scene of a very confused Mug standing around. Mug, had you actually thrown Silas into bed, or was he still passed out on the floor?
Yeah, I think Mug threw him on the bed.
Right, so
But
Silas is at least
Mug
on
Mug
the
might
bed.
have gone back to
Wait, I think it's only fair that this is the point where I mentioned that all this time I've been saying that he has a hammock.
True. So,
So I've been tossed into the hammock and I'm
Yep.
hanging there now.
yep, you're just limp in the hammock. That's right, the other
yeah.
ship had the bed.
I feel like Mug had also fallen asleep because he didn't understand what was going on, and he's probably
He was
tired and
tired.
he doesn't know what he's protecting from. So I think he just fell asleep in the corner.
And then I was just like, oh, okay, no fight, snore. Oh boy.
First, I'm gonna take my sword and I'm gonna put it under Edric's nose to see if he's breathing.
He's breathing.
Okay. Next thing I'm gonna do is, do you remember the spices I once looted?
Yep.
Can I put half of that in his mouth?
Yep. So you can basically take some pictures of the spices and dump them in his mouth.
Mm-hmm. Basically, I want to see if they're hot enough to wake him up. Like his body will go into like a shock of some sort.
So this is Wisp's version of smelling salts.
Hmm.
This is not smelling salts, this is tasting spices.
So what I'll do is
If it works, it's not stupid, right?
Yep.
True.
I'll get a medicine roll out of you. So I think that's intelligence medicine off the top of my head.
$17.
Silas, you start to come to, and the first thing you're feeling is that your mouth is on fire.
He's alive. Can I go back to bed now?
Are you gonna check what happened to him?
So,
No.
upon hearing the voice of Wisp, Silas pulls out 2 pistols and aims them at Wisp's face. What the fuck was that chocolate?
Oh, that. I forgot about that. I meant to mention it.
Verity is looking so fucking confused.
But he's snoring in the corner.
Well, remember last time how we had to get Mug to knock you out?
Yes?
Well, I thought I would pick something up in town. Remember how I got that thing to go pick something up?
Yeah?
That would effectively knock you out, and I just wanted to see if it worked.
So you bought me knockout chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. And at that point, Silas is just so perplexed, going like, yes, I don't have to get punched as much. And he goes, huh. And he puts the pistols away. They work. Maybe next time, warn me.
You put random chocolate in your mouth, not even questioning where it came from.
It said that it came from you.
Sure, dude.
Oh,
You didn't even
so
question it.
No, of course not. I
Okay.
mean, it's chocolate. I hadn't had chocolate in quite a while. Chocolate. And you see him like...
Didn't say your father was trying to murder you?
Yeah?
Did you not? Like,
No?
okay, so I know now that if I ever want to murder you, just chocolate?
Probably.
Who's murdering who? Don't leave me out.
No, of course not. If we get to the point of murdering, you get to do it.
Oh, okay.
And you see him like eye Wisp for a second. And then he looks at Mug. And then he looks at Wisp. And then he goes, nah. Not now.
Wait. Well,
Huh?
wait. It's morning practice, right? Let's go. Let's fight. Let's do it.
What time is it?
I don't know.
It's morning.
Do we
Sun
have
is
a-
not
do we have-
high.
Well, it's we're a little bit late, but the sun is still rising, so we can still make it.
We're late?
Yeah,
We're
you're
stuck on the ship. What the fuck are we late for?
Like, Verity looks a little like, well, I tried to stop Mugs for,
What?
it's morning. When you wake up in the morning, you wake up and then you greet the sun so that you can have a good day and you can.
Would
It's
it make
morning
you-
practice. You were saying. You said you would fight me. Were you
What-
lying to me?
Would it make
I
you
didn't say
really-
I would fight you. I said I would practice with you.
Would
Yeah,
it make you
that's
really
fine.
happy if I came and greeted the sun or something, or whatever that means?
Like, you can see that she looks really, really happy. Like, genuinely happy.
You know what? You'll have to teach me how to do that, because is it just like we look at the sun and then we go, good morning? Or is
Well,
it-
it's
or is
not as easy, but if you join, we can do it. It's very nice. It's actually quite relaxing. It's my favorite time of day.
You know what? Maybe it would be good to experience what you like then.
So,
And then sometimes
for,
it just goes, do I have time
But-
to grab an ale beforehand?
But we took morning practice every day, and we fight at morning practice. That's what morning practice is.
I think we come from different practices.
Okay, I will let you punch me first, and I will punch you second. How about that?
Not. I'm
or-
very for doing physical training afterwards, where we do
Okay, okay.
push-ups and run around and maybe
Okay,
some light
then-
sparring. But not all of us are fighters like you.
So,
Not all of us can take a
I
punch.
get. I get it now. You need training. I will train you hard, and then we fight.
Silas smiles for a second at the mention of like light spotting. And he goes, you know what? As soon as we're done greeting the sun, I think it's a good time to wake up the twins and like see how they feel about a little sparring for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go up on the ship. We're already a little late, but considering what happened, should be acceptable.
Do you think the sun will forgive us for that?
There are circumstances where he will.
Wisp, why are they talking about the sun like it's a fucking person? It's the sun.
I don't know. I'm going back to bed after Edric's definitely alive.
Are you not practicing with us?
Yeah,
Oh gosh, no.
Wisp, you should probably take some time to like go back to sleep and rest some more. Do you know where to find it?
Well, for some reason, I woke up in the medic bay.
Ah, yes, I wasn't sure where you left your bed, so I decided, you know what, this is a comfy bed.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'm going back to the darkness. See you all later. Goodbye.
Good luck.
Right. Okay. Let's go practice.
Glenn, question. Is there like skeleton crew up on the deck?
You're surprised at how many people are above deck.
Or like lots of
Can I pay someone? Can I just look at someone and go, fetch a bucket of water and dump it on Wisp?
The crew member just looks at you, salutes, and goes, "Sure thing, Captain." Below deck.
Thank you very much. I'll buy the first drink tonight.
He races off twice as fast.
How can you buy it?
Just don't question it.
See, and that's where the smarts of Silas come in, because now I promised someone to buy my own alcohol. Like the alcohol that we already paid for. See?
I think Verity is a little surprised by the amount of people on deck, but she has done this before. She has led the more prayer, basically. So it is a combination of some songs that nobody here really knows, which makes it a little awkward. And some
mumbling from some.
Lots of mumbling and people trying to, and Verity being that's good effort. And
so when Verity is doing the prayers, Mug will shout, "Get down on your knees, people, and do push-ups. 20."
And she'll do some songs, and she'll do some there's some light exercises included that almost actually looks like fighting styles. Like you could imagine this being like the light warm up exercises for people who actually served in armies or similar to that. Like if you have ever done seen the Japanese morning exercises or the Qigong, I think it's called, the martial art that's very slow moving and stuff, but it's actually pretty it's refreshing and it's
it can be pretty tough.
It's nice. Yeah, it can be pretty tough because you're holding some poses for a surprising amount of, which you wouldn't think was heavy, and then suddenly it is.
So the crew are basically bouncing between the two, doing what Mug's saying and doing what Verity's doing and saying.
Yeah, because Mug is just doing normal morning practice, which is heavy physical exercise.
Verity tries in the beginning to make Mugs join the more calm thing. We can do it afterwards. It's fine. And it's not working because he's like, I've been waiting so long.
After the first song, you can see Haldir open his door, look out, And then when the next song starts, he starts like finding the melody on the flute.
Aw.
Still like half hiding in his room, looking very tired, but he's like playing along almost just by reflex.
Yeah.
Aw.
Push up to the rhythm.
Verity
Oh,
looks
no.
so incredibly happy that you're joining in playing the flute. It's like really helping because so far it's pretty much only been her who actually knows the tune. And I assume most of the crew doesn't have musical abilities, so they probably wouldn't be able to recognize patterns as easily. So, but it's very nice. It's actually quite refreshing, and if you're used to it, if you're not, it can be, it's fucking 5 in the morning and you're tired and it's white. But hey, Verity looks very happy.
Welcome.
Oh,
And now you run around and you run around in the rhythm for the song.
yeah. When we're
20
done,
minutes.
when we're done with that, Verity will like walk over to Mugs and say, "Okay, I promise I'd join your exercises."
Yeah. 10 more laps around the ship.
She'll start running.
So
And Mug is also running.
the crew have
Yep.
found this weird rhythm between like Mug's drill master exercises and the more sedate, chilled out like Tai Chi style exercises that we're doing. It's like they most of them think that this is normal.
It does help with like having some of the more tough to wake up crew there actually trying.
That was
Yeah.
directed straight at Bingo.
Hello.
Hello, Bingo.
Ah, morning. Ah,
Right.
It's a very early morning right now.
Yes, it is.
Oh
5
yeah.
a.m.
It is basically
And-
just past dawn.
Yeah.
As soon as Verity is done with the whole singing thing, Haldir just closes his door again.
Just like, I'm done now.
I'm done.
Yep.
Back to sleep.
So, as the crew sort of wind down from the exercises, Verity, there is a lot of enthusiasm from the older crew for the fact that you just gave them a break of their normal exercises.
Yay! Ta-da!
Because they've only had to deal with Mug up until now.
Perfect.
At least they didn't
Right.
have to deal with Mug at 5 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
No, but they got a rest break between their push-ups.
Fair.
And now it's time for sparring. We will practice the different. Wait.
it's
why
always
didn't
time
we
for
have-
sparring with Mug.
Wait a moment. Why didn't we have breakfast before morning practice?
Well, you're not. You're supposed to have a clean body. So usually we eat after.
No. We have breakfast, we have morning practice, and then we have lunch. Where is breakfast? Okay, we do sparring after breakfast. Damn it. We almost missed out on breakfast. Where is the chef?
It's like now, like 5:30 in the morning, and the chef is not waking up yet. And he's usually one of the ones who wakes up at like 6 to make sure that everyone has breakfast when they wake up, and he's not used to this.
So, Mug, as soon as you say, "Where's the chef?" you see that the chef has actually stepped out on deck, and he's confused as hell as to why there's people up here.
Right, why are you late with breakfast?
Max, I don't think it's late.
The chef's response is, "What? I've never seen you up this early in my life." And then
But
you-
I was
Okay.
told it's morning practice.
Well,
You-
this is a new chef. Ever.
Yes, this is new.
I was just about to say,
well,
you've never seen him wake up. Period.
Yeah.
so what I'm actually going to
Is
say
it a new
is that
chef?
you do have the old chef there, and he's the one that's gotten up. You do have the new chef
Ah,
because you did hire the new chef.
right.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
not up
True.
there.
We need some like sort of like 24-hour buffet thing going on. We need to like organize shifts.
Well, that's why you have the two chefs, because the old chef you didn't get rid of, he's still there. It's just
We did hire a several star chef just to make sure that we
Yeah.
had some good job.
There you go.
And we have 99 casks of
99 castles.
alcohol.
because remember, you do have a lot of people on board, so one person ain't cooking for like 200 odd people.
No, I
Yeah.
reckon they have 2 head chefs and then like a few
Yeah.
crew members that help them with like cutting up potatoes and stuff.
Yeah, so some of the crew are going to make their way downstairs, and the chef just sort of quietly speaks to them and says, "You might want to get a hurry on." And then he's going to duck.
Wait. Verity, you told me it was time for morning practice, but they are saying it's early for breakfast. But morning practice comes after breakfast.
I think there are 2 different types of morning practice mugs.
What?
This way you can get
There are
more
different
practice
morning
in, Mug.
practices.
This way you get 2 morning practices.
Oh, sweet. But I need
Yes.
2 breakfasts then.
There was a 50-50 chance that he would be like, no. I was like,
A number of the crew swear the second you say that.
She looks at him a little bit confused because she hasn't actually ever seen Mugs do anything besides like her version of she thought he was trying to help during the
Mug and trying to help. That's usually keyword trying.
So the old chef heads down below deck to start prepping breakfast and gathering up any and all hands that would be helping. The rest of you are pretty much free to do as you please on deck.
I'm gonna like sit around near the cannons and just like clean them a little bit. Mostly just sit and like calm down for a little bit.
This is when Verity usually has chores, so Verity is assuming that this means that she is now taking the helm. Because that is her job.
So one of the crew is up there and he simply nods as you approach and says, "Bit earlier, but I don't mind being relieved early."
And she like looks at the sun and says, "Oh, well, it's about 20 minutes late, but good enough."
Okay, Verity, while we wait for breakfast, while we wait for breakfast, so I will train you. I will teach you how to fight, and then we will spar after breakfast.
And then she'll look over to the person she just like released and be like, "Do you mind staying for a while longer? I did kind of promise Mugs, but if not, I can.
He
I
shrugs,
don't want to skirt my duties."
he shrugs and goes, "All good."
And she'll join in on Mugs' strenuous activities and probably be absolutely fucking exhausted.
The sailor is basically standing as close to the edge as possible so he can actually just watch.
Silas now also takes a seat where he can actually see what's happening.
Yeah, so Mug is basically explaining and showing the basics of like a dirty pit fighting techniques of how to punch people, how to kick them in the guts, and that sort of thing.
Yep.
Verity's trying her absolute best to.
Question: in her trying, does she kick Mug in the nads?
What I will do. So, yes, roll an accuracy to see how you go. Mug, can you also roll an accuracy?
Should it not be communication in terms of how well he
Actually,
can
yeah, do it.
communicate?
Yeah, because you're trying to instruct, so communication, yeah.
Yeah.
If you,
So with him as our rolling our bad skills.
Hey, my accuracy is excellent.
Yeah.
My strength is not, so I won't actually hurt you, but I can hit you.
Yeah.
Bingo is indeed on this particular ship.
Okay, good. Good, because it would be kind of sad if Bingo joined and now would be like on the entire ship, on an entirely different ship for the entire session.
Bingo's in a pile of socks drinking coffee.
Yep, sounds about right.
I mean, to be fair, yes, just generally.
Bingo is possibly the most awake person on the ship right now, just courtesy of the coffee.
Possibly. As soon as he's had his coffee, it's fine, but pre-coffee, it's just a mess.
There's one room where like the door is bouncing a little bit. That's just the fact that Bingo had so much coffee that the entire room is shaking.
Yes. And he's little as well, so when he bounces, it's like ding 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 ding.
Right, so I'll say based off that, Verity, it takes you quite a while to understand exactly what Mug's trying to communicate with you, but once you get it, you're pretty much doing it flawlessly.
Haha. Cute.
Okay, and now you try punching me.
Are you sure? Punch you, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, you have twix for arms, so I will be fine. I'm tough.
So you can roll a great attack with this, and
Is that a strength or is that
so
what is this?
it's accuracy to hit
Accuracy.
and strength to do
Yeah.
damage.
So
Yeah.
the new accuracy for attack and
So basically, the accuracy was to try and mimic.
Just try to do the technique.
Yep.
So he was teaching you the technical part.
That, from memory, is a hit.
and then how do I strength?
Yeah, that would hit.
Yeah, how does one strength?
How does one strength?
Oh, good. From
So
memory.
for the damage,
Yeah,
the
Mug,
damage,
you've got your
it's-
fist as a weapon.
yeah. So for fist, I think it's half of a d6 plus
Yeah.
strength,
Yes.
isn't
Yep.
it?
So
Because you're not
1d3
trained-
plus
if you're not-
strength.
Yeah,
If you're
one
not
one
trained in
d3
it.
plus strength. Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah, if you're not trained in it, and I don't think you are.
Ha! Fair me, bitches.
So you might do one of
Oh, max damage.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's a
Well
critical hit.
done.
Verty's like,
Bounces off his armor. It's just about bounces off his armor.
I mean, Verity isn't wearing any armor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mug?
So you did your max damage, and it doesn't go through his armor.
Yeah, Mug, it doesn't hurt you, but you do feel it, so... Like...
That was a good
Yeah.
hit. Well done. Well done. I mean, that's how you do it, but you just punch harder. I will show you.
And then she's like, I will show you, and at that, she, like, falls to the floor. Like, instant reaction, just no. Like, collapse to the floor, please don't hit me.
So, Wisp, yes, you've been rudely reawakened with a bucket of water all over the face. The crew members realized, and just, he's running, screaming from you, shouting, "Captain's orders! It was Captain's orders!"
She's going to stop in her tracks and immediately hunt down Edric with the pillow. And then run at him. And then try and attack him with the pillow.
We should at some point host a shipwide pillow fight just because we can.
Yes.
What?
We all know Mug is gonna use his fists instead of pillows, and it's just gonna.
We'll just say pillows to Mug.
I've just got the mental image now of like pillows like strapped over his hands.
You need to learn how to properly punch, because that was a well-aimed punch, but it needs to be tougher. Like, just watch how I punch.
Yeah,
And then-
I think I would be able to watch it better if I saw you punch someone else.
Hey,
If not, I can't
Wait,
really
anyone-
see it properly.
who here is tough enough for my punch? Mug shouts. Come over.
As you shout that, a crew
Everyone
member
takes a
comes-
step back. I'm just like,
Most of the crew on deck decide that yes, they are stepping back, and also a crew member steps up onto the deck from down below, and it basically bangs on a pot and pan and is shouting, "Grubs up!"
Oh, it's food. Okay, we're punching people after food. Let's go and eat.
So Silas just pipes up as everybody sits down in like the. Oh wait! Before we do that, I assume I get hit with a pillow.
Yep.
Oi, what was that for?
Over and over and over again. Chuck, what was that for? What the hell?
You deserved some payback.
What? Payback?
Next time, warn me when you use that chocolate.
That's the thing you're worried about.
she's not helping her own case right now, but that's fine.
Well, this was step one of the payback.
What the hell?
And Silas then walks off laughing.
I attack him with the pillow again. To hell with you.
And to you too. Silas then turns around and says, "Love you too, Liz." And he goes to breakfast.
This is the point where Haldir once again opens the door to the captain's quarters and walks out, actually dressed and is like, "You guys are a lot more active in the morning than you were the other day," and then just closes the door and starts
Does not
walking
do
down
that.
towards food.
Silas says, "Blame Verity."
Verity like smiles at you. Looks tired as fuck now, but happy enough.
Finally, the tiresomeness is setting in.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
yeah.
Mug is already eating food and then jogs up to Haldir. Hey, I didn't see you at the first part of morning practice. I better work you even more on the second morning practice after this.
Silas looks at Mug and goes, "You know what? Maybe he's strong enough to take your punch. He did so last time." And
Mark.
he
Okay,
needs to
eat
catch up.
well.
Mark, I
Eat
was
well.
there. Yes, I was there for the morning practice. Didn't you hear me play the music while I was doing the exercise behind you?
He was
And
very
And then he just
helpful.
keeps walking.
Good Haldir, then you are ready for the punch. Eat well so you can puke.
I have navigation duties. I can sadly not be punched this morning.
Anyone can be punched, Haldir.
Silas pipes up and just like out to all of the crew sitting there. Okay, so we can do this two ways. Either someone steps up now to take that punch, or I'm gonna have to point out someone.
A ton of the new crew are just like wide-eyed and now looking around at everyone.
Silas like points at different new crew and then some of the old crew as well, but with a wink. And just like doesn't actually point at anyone yet, but he's like moving his finger past most of the new recruits. Going like, "I think you know, you know, like that."
The entire mess hall's like just watching you right now.
Haldir is just eating his food. He doesn't care at all.
Yeah, Mug is scarfing down the food as well, getting ready for punching people.
So Silas starts pointing towards Wisp, and then goes, "Nah, that's a bit much."
Whisp is getting changed out of this soaking wet clothes she has on.
Oh yeah, sure. So Wisp's not even here.
Yep.
In that case, I think Silas will just end up pointing at Haldir just to be sure.
Haldir isn't looking up, so he probably hasn't noticed. He's just sitting eating.
I nod to Mug and then I go, got it?
Yeah, I have
Good.
it.
Good. Now then I can start eating as well. And so I just start munching. Boy, that chocolate does make you hungry.
I have the
What's a
same
chocolate,
problem with coffee.
Silas?
I got a chocolate from Whisp, and that was why you found me the way I was found this morning.
That's why you were so lazy.
Yes, it was a laziness chocolate.
Did I also
And
hear
so-
bingo
You-
on more coffee?
Hello,
Hey.
Bingo.
Oh, the coffee.
Can I slide
morning,
a plate
Bingo.
of food towards Bingo?
He will share coffee if anyone wants. He's feeling generous today. Also, he's got lots and lots and
Ooh.
lots of coffee.
Please get a cup, Bingo.
Haldir definitely takes a cup.
I
Yeah.
don't think Verity has ever had
This-
coffee, but she will definitely try it.
This is very. This is.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
This
This
is
is
still
like-
very early.
It's like
Yeah,
the
I don't-
blackest of black coffee. Like,
I don't think Mug has had any coffee before. He's like, is there any alcohol in it?
no, I'm underage.
Well, then I don't want it.
I mean,
pull
you
out a
can
tiny
you can
flask,
put
like,
alcohol in it if you want.
It's
I
fine.
I pull out like a hip flask and I take a cup of coffee and I just pour some whiskey in it. Now there's alcohol in it.
Hmm. Okay, I will try it.
In that case,
Hal-
sorry.
Haldir just drinks the really black coffee and just comes out with like a satisfied sigh and drinks a bit more.
See, good, isn't it? Wakes you up.
hmm Takes me back to my old days at the university.
What's a
Uh-huh.
universe?
It's where you learn to read good.
Wait. Oh, if I went to a universe, I could learn to read.
A university. Well, you need to know how to read first, and then you learn to read good at the university.
That's terrible. They don't even teach you to read. What sort of sham is that?
Well, they'll teach you a lot of things there.
I don't want to go if they don't teach you how to read.
Sorry, Mug. He just keeps drinking his coffee. Starting to look more awake.
Well, it's okay. I can just punch people. I don't need to know how to read. I can punch hard even without reading.
That you definitely can, Mug. That you definitely. This is some good coffee. I like you. Says to Boom.
People who appreciate good coffee.
Okay, so when we are ready with the eating, let's get back to sparring. And we have our volunteer for the punching demonstration.
So
As Mug says that,
Volunteered to let you punch him?
a lot of
Wow,
the
what an
crew
idiot.
are now looking at Haldir.
and at this point, Haldir's had a bit of coffee and it just looks around like, what?
One of them just leans over to you, Haldir, and just says, "You might want to run."
I'm good at TikTok music.
I think he just like drinks the rest of the coffee and then just gets up and starts leaving the mess hall. Not not on a run yet, but just like quickly leaving. Like I need
It's an expedited retreat.
I need to check that we're on the right course.
Wait just a moment, Haldir. You skipped out on the first part of morning practice.
I was there.
Come over to sparring. We need to show Verity how to do it properly, right?
Well, then shouldn't you be punching Verity?
I can punch you both. How about that? It's a good deal.
I'm assuming Verity doesn't hear this, so it's...
Haldir just sighs. Like, walks up in front of Mug and just stands there.
Silas looks at Wisp. Silas tries to look for Wisp, and then just opens a door back, like a hatch down, and just yells, "Wisp, we need you topside now!"
Mug is not that bad.
No, we're just scared.
Right. Let's get to the deck where there's space.
Well, that was where I was going. Why did you stop me then? I needed to check how that we're the right course. Turns around and starts walking up to the helm.
Mug is going after him and calling over his shoulder. Come on, Verity. Come and see sparring practice properly.
So some of the crew are going to make their way up and watch as well. The twins have also now gone up and they are now passing out weapons and doing actual training drills. And seem to be a bit confused.
Actual morning practice time.
Yeah, they're a little bit confused. Firstly, why you're like now late, Mug, and secondly, why the people that they're training appear to have already been up for a while.
You learn quickly on this crew not to ask questions.
So before
it's the first part of morning practice.
Before anything else, Haldir actually goes up and checks the navigation just to make sure we haven't gone completely off course during the night.
Yep, you check the charts and you check the course, and although it looks like the person who was doing it overnight has slipped off course a little bit, it's not anything drastic and easily correctable.
Wonderful. Well, Haldir's made sure of that. He just walks down on the deck again, takes off his coat, puts it over in a... like, opens the door to the captain's quarters, hangs it on the inside, closes again, and walks over to Mog. Okay.
Right.
It's not a death sentence, Mug.
So what is this, Mug? One punch each?
We have to show Verity how to properly. She has been practicing, but hasn't seen proper punches. And I just need some good people who know how to punch and how to get punched.
Right, so you punch me once and then I punch you once and then we're done, right?
Yeah. Let's do that. One is enough. I can count that 4.
Great.
Are you sure you can count that far?
Verity, you're watching,
okay.
right?
Most of the time I can count that 4.
Yeah. Watching.
Great.
Are you actually gonna punch each other just for?
Haldir steps into like his usual like actual brawling stance or whatever. Okay, throw the punch, Mug.
Did you imagine him to have a brawling punch when you designed him?
Well, he has been brawling in taverns, just not with people like Mug. and he's usually getting beaten up, but beats up people as well. So like,
Yeah.
stands up like, okay, Mug, throw the punch.
You want me to go first? Right. That's very gallant. Gallant of you. Okay. So watch Verity very closely. I'm only going to show you once because Haldir might break. Yeah.
That sounds like
Um,
all your breaks.
No, it's not too bad. It's accuracy, isn't it?
Yep, it's accuracy to attack with a fist, and then it is strength to do the damage.
Is it +1 for aiming?
Yes,
As well?
because you're basically aiming it
Yeah.
up. You're not.
Yeah.
If you don't do any other action, you can spend it on a aim.
Does 13 actually hit? I hope so, because otherwise I will look stupid.
My defense is 13.
Yes.
So it just
So
hits.
that hits, right?
Yep.
View. And I get 2 points of
Stunt.
stunt as well.
Yep.
Oh, what can I use that for? That's not enough for Mighty Blow, is it? I never know the stunts.
Rolling back up. Mighty Blow is actually a 2.
Oh, I could do Mighty Blow. So that's plus 1d6 or?
Yep.
Or what else is there? Okay, let's just do a Mighty Blow.
Yeah. Because otherwise you can do stuff like knockdown as well.
Oh,
Knock me off my feet.
Yep.
oh, that sounds even more fun.
Depends on what kind of effect
Knock
you want to
prone.
do. Yep.
Yeah. But so not prone.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's for 2.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because I don't want to actually hurt him, but it will be quite funny if
Yeah.
I do knock.
so just roll your straight normal damage dice, and
Yeah.
Haldir will get knocked over by this.
Okay, so it's still 9 points of damage.
Ouch.
Haldir,
Sorry.
yep, this feels like a brick has just been slammed into you, not a fist.
Verity looks like
And it knocks him down as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Haldir goes from standing to the floor like almost in the blink of an eye.
I would like
So-
to use my healing magic.
Yep.
It's like as he gets up, and I think the only one that notices this is Verity, but he's like chanting and healing him as he's dusting him off. He's actually applying healing magic to himself.
Yep, you can.
Oh, I didn't know you could do healing. Can you teach me?
What was that, Verity?
Well, Haldir just did some healing magic, right? That's what you did, right?
No, but did you see the punch? Did you see how well I punched him?
Verity's completely distracted by the fact that Haldir cast healing magic. Yeah. It's a good punch.
Okay. Now see how Haldir punches, and after that you have to practice as well, because this is how you do a real strong punch.
And how they gets up, like, okay, let's try this. But, Ugg, I see you're still
Yeah?
wearing your armor,
Oh,
so at least take that off and give me a fighting chance, eh?
Well, I mean, if you feel like a proper pit fight, Haldir, let the both of us go half naked. That's how we do it.
I didn't have any armor on when you punched me, so my punch shouldn't have you have any armor on, right?
I feel like maybe if he didn't have any armor on when I punched him.
Twins, bring out the oils.
Haldir just holds up a hand like, no. It's only one punch. There's no reason for all of that. And then he just swings at Mog. Fuck no. Let's end this.
I mean, you know, if it's just one punch, then why undress? Yeah, that definitely hits.
Yep.
Aha! Look, we're dealing maximum damage here.
Oh my god, I love it.
That was a decent punch, Haldir. You know, next time when we undress for it properly, you will actually hit me. Properly.
Haldir just sighs a bit like, I'm not sure there's gonna be a next time because I have some other duties I need to look at while you guys spare. You know, the books don't write themselves, and he just starts walking back into his quarters.
Well, good. Take care, Haldir.
I will, Mug. I will.
So,
How to get out of morning practice.
Half of this game is literally like how to avoid having fights with mugs.
pretty much. So, presuming no one else gets up to any other shenanigans, we will time skip a little bit.
Do Verity want to have a conversation about healing magic with Haldir?
She would be very, very.
Because like he just walked into his quarters, so she could definitely follow him.
Yeah, if she doesn't get manhandled by mugs, which she probably, to be fair, does.
I think as long as Verity just does a little bit of sparring, she can probably get away afterwards.
Yeah, then yeah, she'll do like she will follow up on what she said she would do. Like she's trying really hard to fulfill what she said she would do. Just doesn't really punched. Doesn't want to die.
So you can definitely both slip away. Mug, you can fall in with the twins and training crew in actual weapon fighting until
Do some actual.
Yeah, until a point that eventually you can probably get bored and wander off and do your own thing, and the crew will probably be near dead by that point. Some of them, it may be their first time actually using weapons.
Yeah.
Then they definitely need to train.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bingo.
It's good that the twins are there to help us.
Bingo,
good that we
have you
hired them.
gotten up to anything, or have you head down to the engine rooms, or what is our explosive little munchkin up to? Or have I missed a BRB because I see two of them in chat?
No, he's I'm debating whether or not he eats a weird coffee bean, but I think I'll save it. Maybe he'll eat one. Let's find out. Okay, he'll eat one. What do I roll again?
2d6.
Okay. Screw it. What's the
Bingo,
worst? I'm not going to
Bingo
ask
have
that.
coffee beans.
Oh
boy.
Bingo has a potion that he's
5.
dripped on.
Uh-oh.
So you put the coffee bean in your mouth and you chew it, and tastes like coffee bean. It's crunchy and everything. You're trying to work out what exactly it's doing until you realize that you suddenly can't see anymore. everything is darkness.
He'll go like blundering through the ship to find someone he recognizes by her voice. Problem. Small problem. Minor problem. Small. Miniature. Massive problem.
Huh? What's wrong?
Small, miniature, massive problem.
And he'll like wave his hands in front of his eyes, which still have socks on. Can't see. Can't. Was eating the beans, and now kaput. Nothing. Can't see. Nothing. Are my eyes still there? He'll try and touch his eyeballs. Are they still there?
Don't know. There's a mask in front of it.
Oh, hang on. He'll like lift it up and stick his hand underneath so no one can see. I assume his eyeballs are still there.
Yep. No, you can feel them, but you
Bits
can
them off.
blink.
Have you tried opening your eyes? That tends to work for me in the morning.
He'll make sure they're really, really open. Like, they are.
Huh.
I know you can't tell under this mask, but I promise you they are.
So you were chewing on a coffee bean and now you're blind.
Uh-huh.
Have you
That's-
tried
that's-
another coffee bean to maybe counteract it?
Oh, that's a really good idea. Let's try that.
So is this another one of the ones you've dipped?
Yeah.
Yep, roll another 2d6.
Okay. 8. Oh, he can't hear either. Brilliant.
He loses 2 of his limbs.
Mm.
Blind and deaf.
Who's currently standing around Bingo?
Me.
Uh-oh. Bingo explodes. The end.
Silence? You don't know what it is, but you feel like Bingo is extra charming today.
As he like tries to lean on the wall, misses and falls down. Well,
That was such an adorable fall.
yes, I am. Wait, hang on. I'm not adorable. You take that back.
Watch out or I'll send Sin after you.
Uh-huh.
You adorable little.
So Bingo at the moment you count as having +3 charisma. So it's +3
Nice.
yeah, +3 communication.
Excellent.
That's some useful blindness.
The
Hey, swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, the blindness will wear off in an hour.
Okay. Here. Okay, I've never asked this before, much, in front of anybody, but I'm going to ask it once. Could you give me a piggyback?
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
So I'll
I
like,
shall reward you with socks.
okay. And I look at my feet and I probably don't have socks on, considering how I left my room this morning. And I go, yeah, you know what? That would be really appreciated.
Okay. I've got... And he'll like pull some of them out of his pockets. I've got pink with stripes, orange with dots, green with zigzags, blue with something other. They're all here, and he'll sort of hold them out in your vague direction. Like, take whatever you want. I can't tell what you're picking anyway.
So that's either he actually knows which socks are in which pocket, or he's just making up random colors as he goes, and there's nothing like that.
I'll let Bingo decide that whether...
I mean, they're all horrible, horrible clashing colours. There is no matching pair because he's mixed up the bag so much. Like, he's holding out a handful, just like, there'll be like 7 different socks, just like, none will match.
I'll pick the 2 that clash the most.
Yeah! Bingo will appreciate that when he gets his sight back.
And I like put them on, and then I like bend over. And before I tell Bingo that I'm ready to pick him up for the piggy bank, I'm gonna tap him on the other shoulder, just like annoying him for a bit. I mean, it's not like he can see that I do that.
Give me the bloody piggyback.
Okay. And then he like lifts up Bingo, puts him on like his shoulders, and just starts making his way to the top side.
Yep. So everyone that currently witnesses this also thinks Bingo is absolutely freaking adorable right now.
Oh.
I
The
think Mug is
indignant
still sparring.
No bounds.
So up in Haldir's room, I guess he sees Verity enter.
Yeah. Verity comes in and
Haldir is not at the books at all. He's sitting with his flute.
she like notices it but doesn't say anything.
Yeah. Oh, Verity, can I help you with something?
If it's okay if you say no. But I was wondering if maybe you teach me some of that healing magic. It wasn't one of the things that I trained for.
Well, with the way you're looking at magic, probably not. Or maybe with the way you're looking at magic. So you have this guy, you say, give you all magic, right?
That's what we were taught, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. And that guy is the sun, right?
Not really. It's more that is one of his aspects.
Sure, aspects. I can work with that. So the world is full of aspects. And one of them is Earth. Earth and life.
Well, kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what you need to do is to talk with that specific aspect and learn how your connection with that aspect can make you change the world.
Verity tries to understand what you're saying. This is not how she was taught magic. But she's trying to follow you.
Haldir is not a good teacher. not in this aspect at all.
Right. So
He has pretty decent communication skills.
Oh yeah, but he hasn't how do I explain a concept that I grew up with to someone that is completely foreign to it?
That believes in an entirely different form of that thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have two very, very different paradigms of how to look at the world.
Yeah.
Trying to communicate.
Science versus religion, effectively.
Yeah. So Verity is okay. Do you say something? Do you chant? Do you have specific? I know that home they had specific when they were little. If you were picked for one of the healing groupations, they had specific rhymes and songs that they would practice.
Well, for the healing, it's more of a connect you with the world than anything else. So, when I connect with Nalani, I use a lot more gestures, but not with this. It's more of a feeling. Also, if I were supposed to
When
heal
you connect with what?
Nalani. And he just looks at you like, you shouldn't. Don't you know who this is?
No. Just what's an Alani?
Oh, right. Okay. So instead of having this one person that is like the sun is an aspect of it, imagine the sun is an actual person. Right?
Easy enough.
Then imagine that the wind is a person. The wind and the thunderstorms is a person. That person is Nalani.
Right. So you do believe. A different name for it.
I'm not sure I believe them as much as they're a thing. They're a thing I can definitely connect to. You connect with the spirits, and the spirits grant you power.
Yeah, like you connect with Kathos, and Kathos gives you power.
But you're saying Kathos gives you all of your magical abilities.
Well, he is all encompassing.
Okay, so he is both the light and the darkness, and he is the fire and the water, all in one thing.
Oh, you're getting it.
Haldir looks like you're a madman thinking those things can coexist.
Well, there were aspects that focus on different parts. So I guess Milani is like an aspect, or different aspect, or a different name for aspects. Kind of.
Nalani is the spirit, like the royal spirit of wind and storms. There's nothing like imaginative about Nalani.
There's nothing imaginative about any of this. I don't.
He sighs. He's like, you know.
It's interesting though. I
Okay,
like it.
If you want to learn healing magic in your way, connect to
I don't want to learn in my
Kratos.
way. I want to learn in your way.
Well,
that was
yeah,
the whole
but
point.
Imagine that you're connecting to Kratos, but instead of connecting to him, you connect to the aspects that is life, fertility, things growing.
Right?
Only that part. And then you pull it into yourself. Then you will heal yourself, or push it into another person. And then they will
Can you teach me something more specific that I can practice on? Like, did you just start with healing people, or?
I mean, I started with an animal that had broken a limb.
Right? Don't really have any of that.
Correct. And I'm like, all of this teaching, I can teach you how to play the flute. That I can very easily teach you. I can teach you how to carve a flute. Teaching you how to do magic, that one's gonna be a bit more difficult.
But you're willing to try? Not that that's
I'm
fine
sure
too.
when I have the time, but
If you want, I can try to teach you how to connect with the weave.
I'm good.
She looks all like sad, but
like I am like, I know I can do a bit of healing, but that is not my forte. Like,
That's fair.
Nalani and I, we have some connections, but that's my strongest connection. But I'll try and help you. But let me think a bit about how I'm gonna to present it for you.
Thank you.
Sure.
He looks like no, she's a little confused, but she'll, that's
Haldir is not sure that it's like. I mean, I guess I can try. I'm not sure how this is gonna help you, but and then he just I'm gonna go sit and practice playing the flute a bit. So if there wasn't anything else,
no.
and then he starts playing music.
She'll probably look at him for like a second too long and then leave.
When you leave, one of the crew members sort of mentions as he's passing you in a hurry with some tools. Weren't you meant to be covering the helm?
Oh! Panic, like pure panic. Right, and she'll like run to the helm, like actually run.
The sailor is holding on, and he sees you run up in a blind panic, and he's just pissing himself at this point. He just hands the wheel over and goes, "It's all yours."
So sorry, I will not skip on my duties again.
He shrugs and goes, "You have to deal with Mug. I don't blame you if you wanted to hide for a bit." And then he's going to slip on down below and get food. So if no further shenanigans, what I'll do is time skip you because you haven't been ambushed on the way. And
Woo, that's a success.
yeah, that's what the rolls were so far.
Yeah, there's I'm quite so disappointed about that, Glenn.
So we will pick up with the morning as you actually arrive into Fort New Haath. So a shout will go up, and I'd say it's after the breakfast and after the morning exercises that have become somewhat of a routine.
I was just about to type that Silas has actually taken the time to try and wake up in time for morning practice every day.
Yep. So
And
there's
he's been trying to learn the songs as well because it made Verity that happy.
Verity like clearly knows, and she's.
So a shout goes up from the lookout, and you realize that on the horizon, not only do you see a giant pillar of rock that's jutting out of the sands and upwards, on top of which appears to have been built, basically true to its name, a giant fortress, with what appears to be a sort of town or city built down along the actual rock face of the spire it's built on. There is ships of all sorts and sizes pulling in and out of the place, at different levels and different tiers of this giant monolith. There are, as you get closer, you see everything from warships through to trade ships, and you are able to distinguish with relative ease where the traders are going, and to where what appears to be a more commercial dock is. There is a separate secondary dock that is just filled with warships up near the fort itself.
Well, Captain, you decide. Which dock do we go in?
Is there anything that gives like an inclination that it's more of a politics side of thing?
All the ships at the fort are all of roughly the same make. They're all flying the same flags.
Which are?
So they belong to Hathad.
Okay.
Off the top of my head... Actually, no, that was Mug and Taran, so... You'd be roughly aware of what the Hathad flag looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I probably had that in school.
Yeah.
Silas is gonna like look around, try and see if there's any ship that he recognizes from the day that we entered the port.
As in Port Marley.
Yeah, because Port Marley was where we last saw Alara, and she went on a ship that came here.
So you don't see anything specific, but the secondary port that's lower on the spire appears to have ships of all flags. So it, by all means, appears to be where any trader from Port Marley would have gone.
Okay. I'm going to point at that one. We should start there.
What are we starting there, Silas? A fight?
No. We're finding someone, not fighting.
Why can't we do both? Let's do both.
You'll get your chance to fight, I'm sure. But first we need to find Alara.
Okay, but you promised, as soon as we fight Alara, we fight.
I promise that before we leave, you get a fight.
Well, worst case scenario, I fight you.
Worst case scenario, you'll fight me. Deal.
Good, deal. I like these deals. I get to fight someone.
I like that we're all like actually accepting these deals because we're like, how do we? It's like we have no reason to. Like none of us want dogs. It's just like we just do because everything else is hard.
It's the safer and easier option to just agree. I mean, I'm just glad I managed to stretch it from as soon as we find her to before we leave. Because that makes it more manageable when we fight.
So, Verity, can I get a... I believe it's a dexterity sailing check out of you as well.
So a dexterity check.
Yep.
That's yep.
Can you like bless yourself?
Seven. Noted.
Uh-oh.
Right. So, it is extremely busy. There are ships all over the place. Verity, it was a heck of a lot easier when you didn't have so many things trying to get in your way. You were frantically turning the helm 1 second left and the next second right as you're trying to weave between these different vessels down towards the docks that were pointed out by one of the crew members based on the captain's orders. You are still frantically trying to turn the wheel as you actually crash into one of the docks.
Oh.
And
So sorry.
graze the entire side of the ship up along it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Can I get dexterity rolls off everyone?
I'm gonna look at Haldir and just look with this exasperated look of how many days is that gonna cost us? So straight dexterity, or can I add acrobatics?
You can add acrobatics to this. And this is regardless of where you are on the ship right now, so even those below decks. So, Silas and Wisp, you manage to keep your feet. Mug, you go sliding over the deck.
Oh, this is a wild ride.
Mug, this is the most fun landing you've ever had. And I'll just also double check. Right, Bingo, where were you? And just in case you're currently muted.
Probably very close to his ride, aka Silas.
Well, he isn't blind anymore.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
It's been over. It's been over a week.
Yep.
Okay.
It would have well
Well,
and truly worn off.
you don't know. He might have done something else dumb, but yeah, okay.
True.
No, Bingo, he probably has done.
He
something.
probably has. He likes him best, so probably close to him anyway.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
Score.
Silas, even though you managed to keep your feet, you see Bingo go sliding past you.
Can I try and grab onto Bingo to make sure that he doesn't like fall off or anything?
Yep, can do. You'll just grab Bingo sort of like by the scruff behind like the neck.
What?
Like you do with a kitten who has been misbehaving.
Pretty much. The ship comes to a halt, and the crew sort of leap into action and manage to sort of push it back away from like the dock face itself, and ropes are launched on and so on.
Can I hop off the ship onto the deck? Onto the dock?
Yep, you can leave it out onto the dock.
I'm gonna put Bingo down just because I don't want to force him to also jump down.
Yep.
And then I jump off.
Yep.
On the correct side, I might add.
Noted. So you leap off. Silas, because we have done a time skip, I am going to mention that the very first night that you went to go back to bed, your hammock was missing.
My hammock was missing?
Yep, door was still locked, but your hammock was missing.
What the actual?
So
I'm the only one who has the door lock.
Yep.
The key.
I will let you decide how Silas reacted to that.
Silas would have probably been very upset. And then he would have probably threatened crew members until he found out what happened.
No crew member currently has been able to satisfy you with a good enough answer of what the heck happened. As far as they're concerned, you're the only one with a key.
Well, they're not wrong.
So, as you land on the docks, a very heavy-set orc sort of strides up to you and looks at the side of your ship, and then across to you and goes, "Did you kind of miss that there was a giant rock in your way?"
Something like that. Our helmsman is still a bit new to the job.
Looks at the sort of scrapes and minor damage up the side of your ship and goes, "Well, I don't know about you, but I'd have them buff that the hell out."
Yes, that was definitely part of the intention. I think good idea.
And he shrugs. "Your problem, not mine. At the very least." And he turns to you and goes, "How long are you here for?"
That depends. We're looking for someone who came from Port Marley. Have you seen them?
He just points at the skies that are just crawling with ships. It's like, ships in here every hour of the day. If you want to know about anyone in particular, your best bets are probably the pubs.
Ah, no. Could you point me in the correct way?
So he points up along this, what is actually a large stone outcropping that forms this particular dock, and at the other end it goes into tunnels that are carved into the face of this spire, and you can see now that in the shadows of those tunnels there is actually doorways. And he goes, well, the closest ones are literally right at the end of the piers.
Awesome. In that case, that's where I'll go next. One last query. Are there
Yes.
any cannons for sale nearby?
He shrugs and goes, could probably find something in the markets.
That seems like a good idea.
Well,
We'll definitely have to find that.
he gestures basically upwards and says, well, there's always demand for them because of the fort, so there's a couple of smithies that do tailor their trade towards cannons, rifles, swords, and the like.
Ooh. Now, where could I find such a gunsmith?
In the upper tiers.
Can I just travel between them, or do I fly my ship up?
You can, well, the fort probably won't take lightly to a ship going up in there. They don't like anyone except for the Armada up there. But
Yeah.
if you want to get up, he points up along the docks and goes, follow that, turn right, follow the tunnels. It curves, goes upwards, even though it might not look it.
Ah, perfect. Thank you very much.
He just nods and goes, it's a few hours walk from the bottom to the top, but easy enough done. Now to the important part of my day, dock fees.
Ah, so
How long
how
are you
much
here
is
for?
it? We're here for, and I'm gonna look up to the crew. I'm gonna say until the ship is repaired.
He gives you just a flat smirk and then goes, well, how about we fix you up for at least 2 days and then work it out from there?
Sounds like a good idea.
And he just shrugs and goes, all right, 5 gold a day.
Okay. And I look at Haldir. Haldir, are you standing like on the ship still?
I'm pretty sure Haldir has gone down to like inspect the giant hole in the side of the ship.
I imagine Verity like standing behind him, being like,
So this is gonna call Haldir over. Haldir, could you talk the finances with this good sir?
Oh,
"What?"
okay then.
What's that?
Sorry, someone sent me a link and I didn't have it on mute.
Yeah, Haldir walks over and like, yeah, sure, finances.
Oh, Haldir, I
So-
will help you.
Okay. How much is the ducking fee?
The massive orc just nods and says, 5 gold pieces per day.
Okay, listen here.
He
We are
starts
looking for.
he starts by giving him 15 gold.
Yep, the orc pockets it, pulls out a scrap of paper and makes a note on it and pockets that as well. And then nods and goes, welcome to the trade port of Fort New Haath. You're free to make yourself
so-
available of any of our facilities. There's taverns and the like, and facilities for other needs here on the lower levels.
Wonderful.
And
So
if you're in,
I just have one question for you.
of course,
I hear there's a lot of thirsty people at this place. So if I want to sell a large quantity of booze,
the
should I just...
second you say that, the widest grin pops on his face, and he goes, "You'll want the markets. All the taverns along here get their supplies from up there. Mid tiers.
Wonderful.
Central Market Bazaar, you will not go astray."
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Wait. I just wanted to say, we are looking for a person, and we are looking for a fight.
The orc turns to look at you, Mug, and goes, "There are so many people that come through here, so I can only say if I've seen anyone in particular, but highly unlikely. And I'd be careful about fights around here. The army upstairs don't like about any misdemeanors happening down here. They might turn a blind eye to some, but foreigners and strangers like you, not a good idea."
Well, we're not looking for a misdemeanor. Where do you have the pit?
He just sort of raises an eyebrow. And he's going to turn to look at you, Haldir, and go, "I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that."
Haldir just shrugs and like, so do the rest of us.
To be fair, Silas at that point pipes up. You know, it's a good strategy most of the time when that one talks.
He's just going to look at you, and he's going to grin again and go, "Fair enough, fair enough. But if you're looking for
Come
any
on.
information, there's one place that I can potentially recommend." And he's going to scratch his chin and goes, "The Crescent Moon Inn. Don't know what it is about the place, but they seem to know everything about what's going on."
Ah, we're gonna have to have a talk there.
Unlike this spot, and he gestures with his thumb at the nearest taverns, they set up in the mid-tier, not far from the bazaar.
How wonderful. Everything close by each other.
Almost as
And
if
close to the food.
Oh, that's a good idea, Mug.
Hmm.
Don't like the ship food.
Well, we can have more food.
The chef's great, but it's always good to find new tastes to get used
The
to.
more food you get, the better.
Well, lead on then, Silas.
And with that, Silas just looks around, looks at like the ship, see if the other crew want to tag along as well. Bingo, Wisp, Verity, we're going on an adventure.
What's it for?
Several things. Food, riches, knowledge.
You're seeking knowledge.
Well, knowledge about a specific thing, or in this case, person. And then, of course, we also need to find the gunsmiths, because the gunsmiths here are famous.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, we'll find a fight as well. A good fight.
Fight, as opposed to a bad or boring fight.
No boring fights on my watch.
Never is.
Is a boring fight.
So you're going to wander on up towards the middle tiers?
Yeah.
Right. So you'll walk through, firstly, the lower tiers, which are largely just carved directly into the rock face themselves, and it's rough-hewn work. But there are taverns, there are shops, there is what appears to be households. You'll see that it is a mixture of humans, orcs, and halflings that seem to make up the vast majority of the people that live here. The further you get up towards the top, it is mainly humans and orcs. And the further you make your way up, the work appears to be more intricately done. There's more effort put in. There are sort of carved reliefs into the stonework as well. People have decorations at the fronts of their accommodations. Shop fronts are extremely well done up. But the way the entire city seems to be designed is a number of large tunnels at intervals have been carved into basically through the entire spire, and little shopping malls and households have sort of sprung up off them, and a giant spiral works its way up, getting more ornate the further you go.
Sounds good.
It would take you probably about an hour on foot to make your way up towards the middle section of the spire, and it wouldn't take too much effort to get directions to the central plaza, which is a point where two tunnels have been carved through into the center of the spire, and then a huge hollowed out section in which there is a massive bazaar in the very heart of the spire itself.
See, that's where we're going first, I guess. Maybe you should.
Silas, do you have any idea where to start searching?
Yes.
In the pits. Let's find the pits.
It's the Crescent Moon Tavern. Did I remember that correctly, Glenn?
Yep. Can I get a perception check from anyone who actually really wants to have a proper look around?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, why not?
See what's going on.
So I was really close to wasting a 666 on this.
Oh. Sorry, what are we rolling?
Perception, seeing if you want to sort of properly gauge.
Nope.
Love it when you just know. Just yeah, no.
I think basically Mug is just looking for the pits while everyone else is looking for the crescent moon or something.
You don't really see the pits anywhere. In fact, you see nothing
Damn
that
it.
resembles a pit fight. Silas, Haldir, and I would say with that roll, Bingo. As you've gotten up into the middle tiers, you see that there are soldiers pretty much on every corner. The vast majority of them are human and orc. They're all in uniform, they're all heavily armed.
Quick assumption that because I waltz in with like 4 or 5 pistols strapped to my chest, a rifle slung over my shoulder. Quick assumption that I take like they catch my attention, but I catch their attention as well.
Yep, you were well aware that you were being watched.
I will quietly relay this information to people.
Do I recognize any uniforms?
I would say that you've heard some stories about Hathad. You recognize at least the symbol that is in the center of their chests, which is the symbol that also adorns their flag.
Damn it! Do they not have pits
But
around
it's not,
here?
since I was thinking since it was humans and orcs.
Yeah, you You don't really recognize anything truly specific about them. They appear to be just armed soldiers, and they have the symbol of Hathard, which is a closed fist.
Where in the hell am I going to get a good fight? Mug hasn't noticed anything with that 6.
Yep. Mug, you're
Oh,
completely oblivious to the fact
Not even
that,
bingo.
yeah, Mug, you're also oblivious to the fact that you're being watched closely by soldiers.
Oh yeah, totally. And
Silas is
he's
just
oblivious to
snapping
people
at-
trying to let him as well.
Silas is at this point just owning the fact that he's got the attention. Like his stature changed to the like normal, slightly more eagle manner.
Yeah.
And he puts his hat on a little bit straighter, the feather like flowing.
Yep. You notice that they are watching, but they're not making any moves. That it seems like they're just keeping an eye on anyone that appears to be a risk of causing trouble.
Fair enough, they're just guarding.
Guards actually doing their job.
Whoa, we haven't seen that before.
That doesn't happen.
It is
Must
very,
be
very
suspicious.
different to Port Marley, where the guards would rarely be seen on the streets.
I'd like to walk to one of the guards.
He doesn't move from the spot, but he's now watching as you approach, and he goes, "Can I help you, civilian?"
I have my hands slightly wide, like in a welcoming pose. And I just walk up and I go,
This is my welcoming stance.
like his hands are specifically away from where his pistols are.
Yep.
That's the best he can do. And he just looks at this guard and goes, "Hello, sir. Would you be so kind to tell me where I could find the Crescent Moon Tavern?"
He just sighs, rolls his eyes, and goes, "Of course. Literally down that hallway there and to the left."
Awesome. Thank you, good sir. And I just nod and step back.
He just shrugs and returns to his post, but you hear him mutter something about, "Why is it always the horn dogs that are the smartasses?"
Oh.
So the way he gestured was to where this chamber is effectively intersected into 4 pieces by the tunnels, and it's out up one of the tunnels that you haven't entered by.
Okay, I'm gonna like relay to the rest of the group that that's where the tavern thing is. Although after what he was muttering, Silas is not quite sure if it's a tavern or a brothel, which doesn't actually make his interest any worse.
Well,
And so,
if you guys are gonna go there, I'm gonna do a bit of business out here in the bazaar and probably find some people to fix the ship.
sounds good.
So you guys go on ahead.
Could you get me any information on where I find the actual gunsmiths in this place?
I'll see if I can find that as well.
Perfect.
How Haldir splits from the rest of them.
Verity like looks at him go and then just like decides that he probably doesn't want her around and then just follows Silas.
Oh boy.
Oh,
It's gonna be so expensive.
So
Haldir is just seeing weeks fly off of that table with how much we actually have to eat.
So how do you wander off into the markets and start asking, I presume, about firstly how to sell the alcohol and B where to repair?
Yeah, sell the alcohol, the lin,
Yep.
though that might end up being sold directly to to the fort.
Yep.
Because it's in their colors. So, but the ale is definitely more of a. I need to figure out where I can sell this for a good price.
Glenn.
Yep.
Quick out of character question to make sure, because Silas would remember this shit.
Yep.
We had a pirate flag, and that pirate flag, they paid kindly in the other city in Port Marley.
Yep.
But they mentioned that a different port would also have some money.
Yep, they said that there was
afterwards.
also a bounty on Hathad, so that you could probably get it from Fort Haath.
Awesome. In that case, Silas is definitely also keeping his eyes open for like the bounty office.
Yep. So you don't specifically see anything that would stand out as somewhere to claim bounties. Especially on this particular level, it is just filled with shops and extremely well-off looking abodes and accommodation. Everyone up here, by and large, is either a soldier or wearing quite respectable clothing and jewelries and adornments and so on, whereas the levels below appear to be more workers and sort of a bit more rough around the edges.
Awesome. Also, I just noticed that it's been past midnight, so I'm gonna have to like cut it short at about latest 20 minutes of now.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah, it's getting late.
So, what I'll do is I will say that you're going to stride on into the Crescent Inn, I presume?
Yeah.
Yep. I'll say what you see in there and we can do the initial bits and then we'll do all the trades and stuff at the beginning of the next session.
Great.
So, the place is not very hard to find. It is, the tunnels up here are well lit. There is shop signage out the front, and you see a very large, ornate building, very wide front windows, and it is got people coming in and out of all kinds. Most of them are quite well dressed. As you enter, it is the neatest looking place you have ever seen. There are tables, there is a bar, there are people drinking, there is a stage, and there are very beautiful women everywhere. There is a woman up on stage singing.
Oh, is that what you're supposed to do?
Oh, Dad, don't do that.
That's a good bingo.
Is that right? Is that what you're supposed to do?
No, it's not. It's very rude.
Oh.
Teach him bad things.
So do they have good booze here? That's the question. And the pit. That's the real question.
You should ask that lady if it's okay to go down in the pit.
No.
Yeah, okay. Hey there, lass. Are you up for the pit?
Quite a few eyes have sort of crossed onto the lot of you as you stumbled on in here. And the young elven woman who stands out, firstly, because she is elven amongst humans and orcs and all other kinds, simply smiles politely at you, Mug, and turns around and says, "Oh, I wouldn't know a thing about that. You'd have to speak to the madame herself."
Where is this madame of yours?
She looks up towards the back and says, "Well, it looks like she's already on her way."
Very good. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Brilliant. Let me just actually grab the picture. There she is. Discord, behave, because I got a drag and drop.
Is it going to be the madame or the dancing lady?
So,
That's a madame.
yep. A orcish woman
Nice.
strides forward, and like many of the others, she is quite attractive. Although people literally step out of her way and give her space and room to approach, as if you're not entirely certain if it's complete respect or there's also fear in there as well. But she is smiling as she approaches.
Good, good. She's looking like a good one.
She smiles and goes, "Welcome to my business, the Crescent Moon Inn and Bordello, and I believe welcome to Fort New Haath. You appear to be fresh from the desert sea. How can I help you all?"
I'm looking for your pit.
I'm not even 100% sure why that was quite as funny as it was. I think it was just the conviction with which you said it, Mug.
She smiles.
Definitely the
goes,
conviction.
She smiles at you, Mug, and goes, "Ah, a pit. Well, we don't have one in this particular building, unfortunately. Not to...
Oh man.
The authorities don't like those kind of activities." And she's gonna give you a very, very, like... She's gonna glance at you out of the corner of her eye, Silas, and then give you a wink. And then she's gonna do the exact same to you, Wisp. What brings you to my establishment?
Well,
Well,
I was told that information was to be found here.
Well, I believe that's something we can talk about. Come into my office. Of course,
Okay.
I believe that you understand that information never comes free, not even here.
Oh, of course. Everything has its price.
She smirks at that and goes, "Oh, you do catch on quite quick. I like you." And then she walks off towards a door up near the bar and beckons for you to follow.
Obviously, I'll follow. But before I step in, I'm going to ask for a drink.
The barkeep pours you a drink and hands it to you and says, "On the house."
Ooh, thank you.
me too. Me too. I want a drink as well.
Barkeep grins and hands you a drink mug.
Mug is chugging it.
So, is everyone just going to file on in?
Yeah.
I'm definitely just waltzing into the office after her, of course.
Right. So, you walk in and she saunters up to a very ornate desk, and rather than walking behind it, literally just turns and plonks herself onto it and crosses her legs in front of her and smiles at you as you all walk in. She will turn to the last person to enter and say, "If you'd be so kind as to shut the door behind you." Does anyone actually make an effort to shut the door?
I'm going to assume
If
that...
it
Oh,
yeah.
yes, sir.
if
Go
Mug
ahead.
if Mug is the last one, he will like shut the door with a big bang.
So, as soon as the door is shut, you'll see the smile drop off her face, and she goes, "I'm going to presume that you were sent here, and I would hope that your intent was not to draw the authorities in through my front door."
Of course not. I don't think the authorities are quite as quite as well liked on our crew.
Whose authority are we talking about?
Well, the only one that matters in this town. The army at the highest part in the fort. Their commander is judge, jury, and executioner in Fort Haath. I would recommend that you don't mention the word pits anywhere along here. Pit fighting's been illegal for at least 5 years.
Oh, it's a boring place here then.
She smirks as you say that and goes, "Oh, we have our hidden charms." She really leans on the emphasis of hidden.
Silas smiles and just says to Mug, "They might have a temple here."
Oh, do you have temple fights then? I'm always up for a temple fight.
She giggles at that.
Fight, Timo, fight, Timo, fight!
No, we have other places where we can make arrangements such as that. So, I have a number of questions for you. Firstly, who sent you?
I think it's only fair that we do question for question, so I'll answer yours if you answer mine.
She simply cocks an eyebrow and goes, I think we can come to an agreement on that.
So, as for who sent us, we kind of learned about this tavern on the docks because I asked whether I would go to find someone.
The eyebrow just twitches ever so slightly.
Who sent you? The god we asked for directions.
Basically. Silas then goes, but yeah, we're here on our own investigation. We don't work for anyone in this particular matter.
Interesting. And yet you didn't make any effort to really find out much about my establishment before you strolled boldly through the front doors?
I was told it's a tavern. I know how taverns work. You go in, you order a drink, and you may ask the bartender a question every now and then.
And if it's any good, the tavern, it will have its own pit.
Ah, yes, just like our tavern back in Port Marley.
The other eyebrow twitches slightly at that. And then she sighs and goes, and what tavern would that be?
Well, our tavern, our standard tavern, was the one called
Wasn't it called the Black something?
the Shattered Hand.
Shattered Hand, that's it.
She ever so slightly sighs and then gently puts a hand across her face and goes, This is the best the fifth can send me?
You're lucky we don't offend easy.
To be honest, you're talking to the best pirate lord in history.
The best.
I have trouble counting to 5.
And then there's Mug.
In combination with those two comments, she doubles over laughing. And is literally wiping away tears.
Silas just joins in the laughter and then goes, but seriously, we're here to find someone. It's more than just a little bit important.
Well, tell me about this person and I'll see what information I can provide. At the very least, you've made me laugh. And I'm presuming that my message was at least received by someone in this group for you.
Your message?
Whisp is going to make a slight nod.
She doesn't indicate that she's seen it. To the rest of you.
What message was it? I'm sorry, I missed.
Out of character, was it the message that you got when we were like getting drunk and trying to pull you at midnight to the shop?
Yep.
That would be the message.
That was
So,
something
yeah,
along the lines of finding the fourth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was right before you joined.
She's going to smile now and say, well, since your allegiances are now clearer, I believe introductions are in order.
Well, of course. And I take off my hat, make a little bow. I'm the bastard Captain Silas.
She pops herself off the desk and offers a sort of half curtsy bow.
Oh.
And smiles and says, Veledria Melkorta.
That's a mouthful.
Can I like?
Oh, the what?
I'm going to assume that she does one of those curtsies where you kind of hold out your hand as well.
Yep. Also, you're probably getting an awesome view down the front of her dress right now.
Silas definitely won't mind that, and then he goes to like kiss her hand as you like gentlemanly should.
Yep. She's gonna smirk at you, Bingo, as Silas does this, and goes, otherwise known as the fourth.
The fourth?
Oh,
You're fourth? Who's third, second, and first? Can we talk to them instead?
oh, I think I can. I can count to 4 most of the time.
We found the fifth 4. So I take for his boss.
In the pecking order of things, yes.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
How's old Pinky doing?
Last we saw him, he seemed pretty okay.
Good to hear. I heard there was trouble and fires and the like going on in Port Marley.
Oh yes. See, we're very good at subtlety.
She blinks, and now she's going to turn to you, Wisp, and say, please tell me at least some of you are actually good at subtlety.
Oh wait, I'm Mug. Nice to meet you.
She just gives you a really pretty smile, Mug, and goes, and the pleasure is all mine. I'm certain I can arrange a couple of fights if that's what you want.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
always up for a fight.
Silas looks almost bleeding and goes, yes, please, otherwise I'll have to fight him.
I'll make the necessary arrangements. It's been a while since we've had some, and the money that we earn from the associated business is always worthwhile.
See, I knew they would have a pit. They're a proper tavern.
Of course, we just be careful with how we advertise it.
So Miss Ford.
Yeah, so should we ask them about Alara?
Glenn, could you type out her name for me?
Yep.
And then Silas will look at Mug and go, yeah, that's a good idea. Miss Melkorta,
Yes.
I believe we arrived here to find someone. Have you heard about anyone coming from Port Marley in quite a rush? They're particularly well. How out of character quickly? How would Silas describe Alara?
You could probably describe how she looks, and the fact that she's human would definitely help.
In that case, he goes, she's a human lady. She came from Port Marley.
She will nod and go, I can see if my contacts have any information for you. At the very least, I'll know everything there is to know about this person. by tomorrow night.
That seems like a good idea.
However, I will have my price. And she's going to turn to you, Wisp, and says, I believe you received my offer, which, if you think that the rest of your comrades here have the subtlety to assist you with, I will see you paid handsomely for.
What does it entail exactly?
Well,
So
liberation.
liberation.
Ooh, that's our specialty.
What are we liberating? Is it money?
No, nothing as
Base.
simple as that. There is someone
Shall-
who is currently under lock and key up in the fort. In their dungeons, to be specific. I would like them liberated. More to the point, I want them delivered. They're to be freed, and they're to be taken away from Fort New Haath.
So where would you want them and who's the target?
Port Lilith. That's where they need to go. As for the name, well, it's somewhat rude to introduce someone when they're not here, but
Well, I
as
wouldn't
needs must.
necessarily need the name as much as we need to know how to recognize them.
Well, you will definitely be able to recognize her. She is an orcish woman currently under lock and key in the fort. She goes by the name Seda Amok.
Why is she under lock and key, may I ask?
She will purse her lips a little bit as if she's trying to decide whether to tell you not. I will get you to do a communication to see if you can persuade her.
$15.
She's going to cock her head to the side and then tap her fingers, sort of drumming them now on the desk. I guess there's no harm in the saying, but rest assured, the full story you will need to get from her. Politics is the reason that she is currently under lock and key, and unjust politics at that.
Why is always politics? That was my least favorite subject.
She smirks.
What is politics?
You wouldn't understand, don't worry your little head out.
She goes from sort of looking at you, Silas, and then over to you, Mug, and goes, I think you've just become my favourite. And that's directed at Mug.
Huh? Well, that's good to hear.
Do you feel that you're up for the task?
I mean,
Yes.
if we get to fight some people, yeah.
We're being subtle, Mug.
Okay, I will subtly fight some people.
Don't think that's how you.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this
Do
works.
you have access?
Okay,
Do you have access to any of their uniforms or anything that would help us be less
Well,
conspicuous?
on that matter, no, I don't have access to their uniforms per se, but you could try to liberate some of those for your attempts. Likewise, if you're inclined to take the risks, the fort has the fort itself has very little in the way of weak points, but they care a lot less about the occupants of their dungeons. You could try to sneak in through the sewer network. I cannot vouch for how pleasant that may be, however.
I mean, you've seen Mug. Do we really worry about pleasant?
She just smiles and sort of approaches Mug and sort of strokes one of his biceps and goes, "Oh, I'm sure this strapping young man will not turn away from any challenge."
Of course I won't. I will take on any fight. You know, I will even fight this politic thing, and I will defeat it.
She laughs and goes, "Oh, I really, really like you."
Oh.
She'll turn back to you, Silas and Wisp, and say, "If you succeed without raising any serious alarms, come return here, and I'll see to it that all information that I am able to obtain of your missing comrade is provided to you."
So, no, that sounds like a good deal.
Then we're of
Very
an
well.
accord. My only recommendation is please do as little as possible to draw attention to the establishment. Publicly, we only sing and dance and provide the simple pleasures in this place. And she's just going to boop Mug on the nose. We provide fights on a more invite-only basis.
That's good.
Mug is now very confused as to whether we are invited.
No, but he's thinking it's a place for the professionals.
Ah. That's a big word for Mug.
Real pit fighters.
So, if that is all that you require of our organization, please feel free to make use of the establishment, but we do request discretion. We, however, do have rooms for hire if you require somewhere away from prying eyes, and entertainment of almost any kind you require. But I do have much work to do, and it appears that I have business that I need to plan for. I will, as agreed, have the information on proof that you have liberated the current unjustly imprisoned Lady Amok.
We shall do our
Sounds-
best, ma'am.
She smiles at you specifically, Wisp, and goes, "Well, it's what I did ask for from good old Pinky, but I do know that times are strictly tight right now." She doesn't elaborate too much further than that. I'm aware that some people it's well beyond midnight, so if we get a yo-ho, I believe we can end it here for the night.
Yo
Ah!
ho.
Yo.
Yo-ho.
Yo ho!